Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
I'm in love with you, in love with you, yeah. Girl, I'm in love with you, in love with you, in love with you. When we old and we gray, won't you still remember me? Compliment my destiny, yeah. When we old and we gray, yeah, girl, I know you're by my side. That is my wife. You saved my life. You're down to ride. Together with you is my favorite place to be. Without you, girl, I cannot breathe. Forever with you is the only place to be. Too late, baby, you're stuck with me. Too late, baby, you're stuck with me. Come and hold on tight. Watch how long me and you rock it. Watch how long me and you rock it. Hold tight, let me rock, rock. Hold tight, let me rock, rock. Watch how long me and you rock it. Watch how long me and you rock it. Hold tight, let me we all
Rise up. It's the Net Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
And making sure that you start your day right, make sure you start your day in the very best of ways, in the right way. Good morning, everybody, and of course, welcome to it. Good to have you here. And if you're wondering where here is, so Era TT Radio, Net Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond. Let me say a very special good morning to all of Trinidad, Tobago, neighbors in the Caribbean, friends who stream all around the globe, different time zones, time slots. Good day to you, and of course, thank you so much for being here with us. Would like to also say much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day, and everything that we do, dear God, everything that we do, let it be a blessing on to you. People, I am your host, Sir Charles. Check it in. Happy am I to be here in this space in your company. And we want to take the opportunity to welcome everybody. This is your Get Up and Go. Welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Oh, good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Well, I'm guessing that was a hump day tune you started the show with to Sir Charles. I don't know that. Oh,
Yeah, that was Carnival 2K26, yeah?
by whom?
A guy by the name of Hey Choppy.
Hey Choppy.
Hey Choppy, a song called Old and Grey.
Trinidadian?
Yeah.
Okay. Never heard it before. Anyway, good morning.
I think Choppy is either Trinidad based or if he's US based. I can't remember exactly, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was trying to follow it. Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's Wednesday morning. And we are happy to be in the land of the living. I say condolences to those who would have lost loved ones, and of course, happy birthday to anybody celebrating birthdays today, November 12th, 2025.
You know, you find yourself, you're doing things, and although you know you're still doubting yourself. Like just now, I played the hum day, and then I'm saying, is it really Wednesday?
It is Wednesday.
Yeah.
It is Wednesday.
Although I watched it on my phone and all kind of thing, and I played it, and then I still wonder, is it ready Wednesday? Anyhow, good morning, everybody, and thanks for being here with us on the net.
Well, on the breakfast show. So good morning, guys, and good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are, and whatever time of the day it is, wherever you are, and welcome to the breakfast show. We know you have a choice, and thanks for choosing us. We appreciate it.
Richard, you look well rested.
Well, I got some sleep last night.
Yeah, you look.
The night before, I didn't really much, but yeah. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't, but less. But yeah. But I made it a point of going to bed earlier last night.
Yeah, you look
I don't
very well.
always do that. So, how are things?
Pretty good. I mean, pretty good. I don't know what else, how else to describe the situation. Everybody knows my life story, and it'll continue for a while. You know, somebody said, anyway, let me leave that one alone.
All right. Well, I mean, there's lots going on, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but of course, across the planet and certainly in our region. And of course, COP30 is also on in Brazil. Is it Brazil? Belém in Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah.
So that's on.
Did I see the arrival of the Gerald Ford? Did the Gerald Ford, the ship, arrive in the Caribbean?
The USS Gerald Ford, yes, it's in the Southern Caribbean.
It arrived, okay.
And so Venezuela mobilized some of its military.
200,000 I saw.
So it seems, well, but anyway, but it seems to have, you know, sent up the tensions a bit with the arrival of the USS Gerald R. Ford, which is the largest aircraft carrier in the world, apparently.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that nitty-gritty, I suppose we should get to our good news, because all of that's kind of serious stuff, isn't it? So let's get into our good news for this morning, this midweek already. Of course, theater's on this weekend, so you know I will start to be smiling broadly. But it's on this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at Cipriani College. You don't leave foul to watch Corn. Oh my goodness, it's on this weekend, and it's the final 2 shows in North Trinidad. So if you haven't seen it, you should see it. And if you have seen it before and want to see it again, do so too. But anyway, let me get into our good news for this morning.
It was Caribbean women who kept the islands running. Through storms, through silence, through everything history forgot to write down. When men went to sea, it was women who tilled the land, who sold in the market, who raised the next generation with one hand and built tomorrow with the other. When the plantations fell, it was women who rebuilt the homes. When hurricanes tore the roofs away, they gathered what was left and started cooking again. When the world said wait, they said watch us. They were teachers before schools had doors, nurses before clinics had walls, leaders long before anyone gave them a title. And even now, from the vendors in Bridgetown, to the farmers in St. Vincent, to the nurses in Kingston, they carry the islands on their backs quietly, with grace that could move mountains if it needed to. The Caribbean has always celebrated heroes, but our survival has always been feminine. Because no matter the storm, these women never just endured. They organized, they provided, they kept the rhythm going. They are the reason we never fell apart. They are the reason we're still here.
What? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford. How about that? So nice.
It was a joy in my heart today to see all these people.
It was Caribbean women who kept the islands running. Through storms, through
Two excellent stories there.
Yeah, that's a double whammy of good news for this morning. And thank you for saying that clip, Wendell, with Barack Obama, President Obama, greeting those veterans on that honor flight, because it was Veterans Day yesterday.
Yes,
and obviously brought a lot of joy and happiness.
Clearly, because like they couldn't believe it was his voice they were hearing over the intercom first to begin with.
Yeah,
because that's how he spoke with them first, over the intercom. And people started standing up to look to see if it's really Barack Obama on the plane. You know.
It was a surprise plan kind of thing.
Yeah, well, yes, it was a surprise to them. It would have been planned by the airline, but it was a surprise to the veterans on the plane. You know. And I just also came across a video of Donald Trump laying a wreath. You know, I I don't know if he's done it before, but he went to layer it at Veterans Day yesterday too. You know, but you can't compete with that. You can't compete with Barack Obama.
But it was just nice to see that you know, how the past presidents and so how they still, you know, stay active, stay outside there, still doing things. You know, we have some our presidents here. I don't know where they go after office.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's a different kind of legacy and historical legacy that's curated in a particular kind of way in terms of American presidents.
Mm-hmm.
I remember their commanders in chief, and also the setup is different to our Republican presidents.
Yeah. Ours is just ceremonial.
Yeah, but they're not just ceremonial. They have certain amounts of power.
Mainly ceremonial.
Well, I wouldn't even say that. I would say they still have more value than just being a ceremonial head. Because they also select certain positions. They select, for example, independent senators, which can be a bridge and also a check to power. So there are certain important things that the president of Trinidad and Tobago does, but it's not an equivalency to the American president. No, it's not. It's not like a mirror. No, it's not. And of course, the legacies of American presidents, as I said, are curated in a particular kind of way. So it's a different setup.
Yeah.
And they're always referred to as president. So it's still be President Obama, even though he's a former president. But that's how
they have a detail for life, eh?
Well, you know, Trump kind of whittled away at that. I'm not so sure to what degree Americans in the group did it, which kind of was mirrored by our current prime minister in withdrawing the security details of Dr. Rowley and Stuart Young. So when she did that, I know American friends who I have felt it was a kind of mirroring of what President Trump did, which is why many people see similarities between the current American government and how they're operating. And there's certain, I wouldn't say it's a total similarity, but there's certain things that certainly are reflected here, which we have talked about. We have. It's not a new conversation.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't agree with the withdrawing of any security detail for past prime ministers.
Yeah.
I think that's unacceptable.
Unless that's what they desire. Because I see a former president of the country all over the place by himself. I see him regularly.
I don't think, well, you know, I'm not even sure what security details are afforded to past presidents, because as I said, presidents are not on the same equivalency as American presidents.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what the security details are for past presidents. And well, past prime ministers, I know used to have some level of security detail, but of course it was withdrawn. So it's not clear, and obviously it's not standardized in any particular way.
Yeah.
If it can be taken away so easily.
Yeah.
So we are in a different space.
Yeah. But there's a trend. I don't know if you're all aware that this trending story. I want to deal with this thing. I want to deal with that story early before going to the chat. Of a government minister, a minister in a ministry, specifically housing, did a blog. I don't listen to these things, right? But I went based on what people are saying, right? I will never listen, and I've made this, I will never listen or watch anything that person presents, okay? But I went on the commentary of other people and so on, and the response of the Vincentian Prime Minister, where apparently it was revealed that his family owns buildings, property, HDC property. Now, if people don't forget, I'm going to remind you all this morning, Victoria Keys in particular was started under the PNM government of Mr. Manning, when he lost power in 2010 and Kamala Prasad and them became the government, they reconfigured the Victoria Keys housing. They said it was too small, they needed bigger bedrooms, they needed bigger spaces. And they spent those years reconfiguring those buildings down in HDC. Of course, they lasted 5 years when PNM came back into power under Dr. Rowley. And these things are all public. People could just Google it and find it. They made the decision that these are now out of the reach of what they were intended for, out of the reach of the low and middle class homeowners. So they put the houses down at Victoria Keys, well as apartments, on the open market. Anybody could buy. That was a public thing because the places were now so expensive that you couldn't allocate them for HGC. Again, for the low and middle income, they put it on the open market so that anybody could buy. Don't Trinidadians own homes in other parts of the world? So other people could own a home here. And now this big bacchanal about Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, his wife and apparently 2 children, owns apartments at Victoria Keys. You understand? So, of course, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves responded. And I'll just read it quickly for you because he did an interview in his country.
You know, all of this could have waited till 6:30, right? But go on.
No, well, let me get it out of the way now because I don't want it to consume me later on. I don't even want to consume other people because it's a whole lot of foolishness. Right?
Yeah, no, but it's a legitimate social media topic.
Yeah, well, yeah. As I say, I don't give any credence to anything that individual posts, right? But I will give credence to what Ralph Gonsalves, how he has responded. When weak leaders can't control their ministers, we are left to deal with diplomatic disasters that last for years to come. Congratulations to Kamala Prasad Bissessar and her team of never in their lane ministers. It only took you 6 months this time around to alienate our CARICOM neighbors. Now, Ralph Gonsalves went in a different direction, as you can see, right? So I just thought that it's a whole lot of foolishness being discussed and sometimes used as distractions for us. And guess what? I will give it no more time of the day. You all can. Right?
Well, it should have really been after 6:30, and we could have discussed it more because there is the clarity that you were providing with regard to the Victoria Keys settlement is important.
Mm-hmm.
And even now,
that's available for everybody to find out.
If you go onto real estate agents' books, some of them are selling Victoria Keys apartments
yes.
in the 2 million plus range. So there is and the bigger picture though is that in a kind of way, I want to blame CARICOM because they frustrate me a lot of the times in terms of the pace at which they do stuff. But 2 years ago, they made a decision that you could work and live wherever you want in the CARICOM region, and the respective legislative assemblies had to just pass the respective laws to accomplish that. Mm-hmm. They did zero, very few of them. Mm-hmm. So this would be a moot point anyway.
Yes.
Because we are moving towards in CARICOM that we live and work wherever. Mm-hmm. So you could live wherever you wanted to live. You could buy property wherever you want to buy property, and you could work and live wherever you want in the CARICOM region, just like a smaller version. It's like a mini EU, mm-hmm. and that's the objective. Some have now started it finally in terms of Barbados and Dominica and Belize, I believe. Mm-hmm. There are about 4 of them that have started it. I'm not too sure if St. Vincent is one of them. But the snail's pace at which CARICOM moves in implementing stuff, and I have to blame the last PNM government because that decision was made about 2 years ago. They did nothing. Zero. And my sense of this government is that they're not even inclined, because you already hear some of their spokespeople saying, oh, it's not the right time and a sort of crap. Now, you see why I said they should have come half past 6, Wendell? Because I will go on a tangent now, and it delays everything else.
Well, no problem with that.
No, well, it is, because we have a format and we have to go for a break at this point. Yeah,
So
But
let's
that's
go.
good.
Let's
That's
greet the
good to
people
break.
and say hello to the people.
Well, you're not going for the break. We have a break first, so
All right,
Charles.
yeah, go for the break. It's break time.
Like you're not sure of the show either.
When there's off balance the whole show.
You all understand what I deal with every morning, right?
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
There's no Christmas like Christmas on New Era TT Radio.
Oh, how I wish I were a child again, where poinsettias keep reminding you.
Christmas is family.
A Christmas gift of love. It's the kind of gift a man enjoys.
Christmas is love.
Have a Merry Christmas, my dear, and have a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas from all of us here at New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Ho, ho, ho! This Christmas, small businesses, this one's just for you. Get your brand, your product, your business in front of thousands every single day on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, and Gael Caribbean TV. And here's the gift you've been waiting for. Radio and television advertising has never been more affordable anywhere else. We are talking unbelievable real rates. Prices no one else can offer you for primetime slots that put your business right where your customers are watching and listening. So call us today at 299-5156 and turn your Christmas into real results and real profits with affordable advertising, so you too can say Merry Christmas.
Your only found to watch corn is coming to an end. Beginning with the final two at Cipriani College on Saturday the 15th of November at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 16th at 6:30 p.m. to see the funniest play of the year at Cipriani College. Final two shows. Tickets available at K Squared Fashions, West Mall, Eastgate, Brentwood, Jubilee Railway to Napuna, Electronics Ariba, and Tony's Florals, Val Park, and Charmflair Order Services. Box office at Cipriani College opens from Wednesday the 12th of November, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Don't miss the number one play of 2025.
All right, so this is where we will go to the stream and greet people who have joined us from early o'clock this morning, even before the show started. So we have people already commenting in the stream, and so we'll go to that and greet people accordingly.
Showing on Juliet Kerr says, good morning, Marlon Motley, Robert Taylor, Diane Payne, Margaret Thomas, Manuela Peters, Michael Cadet, Prabha Ramdial, morning Miss Ramdial, Debbie Modeste, Brennan Smith, Trini Merle Kitchen, Florence Bazi, Gavin Frank, Eunice Dublin, Kenny and Harlem, Odell Guy from Grandy, Old Lady, Pleasant Morning All, Manager TTU, Norris, that's Norris Ferguson, Bernadette Yates, Bernadette and Nelissa Yates, Lambert Bruce, Josie Richardson, old lady also says good morning again. Carol Guevara, when we old and we gray, will you still remember me? You might have a choice. Slick Money Grip, good morning, gentlemen. Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona. Whoever is the slimy show who's making some kind of crazy comments later on. Katian Charles says good morning, and special good morning to Arlene in Bronxville, Texas. David McCarthy, Ava Smith, blessed morning, Richard Wendell and Sir Charles. Joyce Phillip, top of the morning, guys. Shoma Paul, Apollonius, send season's greetings, early o'clock. Dave Gosain, good morning. Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Japan. Merle McComey, Florence Bazi, Wendell, my first son would have been 45 years today. He died at age 40. Condolences, of course. Claire Lendor Rollins, Trinidad Margot. Yes, we are strong, beautiful woman. So says Carol. Trinidad Margot also says great man, President Obama. James Kamau, Grand Rising. Rena Budu Jennings says good morning. Nicola McNichols. CJ from New York, happy hump day. Scorpion Pepper also wishes happy hump day, sunshines. Philomena Ali, good morning. All Jennifer Cheryl Henry also says good morning. Trinidad, all of these greeted already. Julia Samantha says good morning, guys. Cheryl Henry, what ceremonial head Wendell talking about? Donald Trump showing you. I didn't say the President of the United States is a ceremonial head, Miss Henry. I said I referred to Trinidad and Tobago, and Richard corrected me, okay? So I'm correcting you now. Yeah. Damian and Amanda Edwin, of course, sorry we have been absent. We have gone back an hour from daylight saving time.
I forgot to, I said them too sleepyhead sleeping. Good morning, Amanda and Damian.
I can imagine how tough it is. Dr. Carl Guevara says Dr. Gonzalez's wife is Trinidadian and his wife Pierre. Well, yes, so says GH also. Cheryl Henry, okay. Scorpion Pepper, correct. I remember that about Victoria Keys. I don't know, nobody don't remember that. Samuel Paul, I explained that those particular houses went on the open market. They were not meant just for low and middle because of how expensive they were. All right. Patricia Reed says good morning and also confirming his wife is a Trini. Chatting here. James Kamau, what would they do without you, Richard? Hands yellow, heart red. What do you mean by that? Dean Allen says, hi everyone, me not into that buy land anywhere in the Caribbean thing. That is madness, as a person could buy out an island. But why you can't buy, people own properties in the United States, in Europe, people own properties all over the world. There's nothing wrong with that. Why would you have a problem with that?
I have no issue with it.
Absolutely none. Chris Tussell says Grand Rising. Lyndon also says happy new day. Boy B. Daisy from DB. Samuel Paul now says good morning. We are now Wilson. R says good morning and happy birthday at Dandy. I wonder why I changed the profile picture on Facebook. Happy birthday to my dear friend Adande Pigot, and a friend of this breakfast show and a friend of so many different people. Happy birthday, Adande.
So it's Adande's birthday. Happy birthday, Adande.
I don't know if he's in the country and he's been traveling a lot. I see your guest.
I find Mrs. RL monitoring his birthday.
You think it's the birthday alone?
You're on your own now. Now you're stepping into your own territory.
I see Anthony Atwell says greetings. Yes, we have as our guest Minister of Urban Development, Urban Planning, Kennedy Swaratsingh in the next hour, all right? Ron DeSantis Jr. says, good morning. Thank you, Wendell, Richard, and Sir Charles for the honor flight video, all right? Timothy Johnson says, Trinidad and Tobago sweet. The man crab, Jaron Joseph, says good morning. Andrew Reno also says good morning. Jude Khan, Yvette Scipio, Ambrose Blah from New York. Thanks for that video from you, Ambrose Blah, too. Beauty Culture, and Mrs. Ari saying, I love my Mr. Ari. I'm going to get her back already. All right, those are the greetings in the chat.
All right, so good morning to Kent on the WhatsApp, came in very early this morning. And Mystic Vale, good morning to you. Terry Ann Peters, good morning. Colin and Kelly out there in Caranage, Archbishop Ashton Clark, Frank in Ruka, Zena in Arima, and Linda in London. And one other person, Horatio, good morning to you. And Michael Pauline is also on the chat very early. Yeah.
All right.
All right, well, Wendell, we can go over to you for the Express now. In terms of our headlines, I know you're ready. I know you're ready because you know that's what's coming next.
Yeah. Look me out. Yeah. Wendell, he on a roll today, you know. This is one of those days with him.
You can imagine how those people in those plays and them just be saying, oh Lord,
God, that's zone today. Where's he sleep last night? Oh my God.
The people in plays are usually prepared and ready to go.
All right, Richard, Mrs. R is cheating on you. Watch your back. All right, you see, I didn't say it. Look it on the chat. Charmaine say it. All right. Government wary of fake news from foreign media. That's one of the stories trending in today's Express. My kids are Trinis, so says St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez. Two-tier plan scrap. That's about cricket. Latapi, time for results. That's about football. And some of the other trending stories. Teen missing since attending Halloween party with teacher. That's a crazy story. New chapter for Deborah. I don't know who Deborah is. That maybe Thomas Felix.
Yeah,
Venezuela is Deborah Thomas Felix.
Yeah.
All right. Venezuela raises military readiness as U.S. carrier group nears Caribbean. $20 million Vindra judgment. Appeal court gives reasons. And 8 criminals storm home. Business family tied, beaten, and robbed. All right. Those are all trending stories in today's Express.
All right. So I'll go straight into the news day for today. The main stories on the news today in Trinidad and Tobago today. Quarry operators meet ministry officials through third party. News report, Maduro planning guerrilla response if U.S. invades. Rescued Venezuelan team gives info. Human trafficking suspects held. TTPS actively probing matters including involving cops, and child rights activists. Transfer system could lead to lawsuits. And Bordeaux, this is the Minister of Health, include wellness in HSE framework. Grand revitalization plan leaves Sealot residents skeptical. A Port of Spain bar manager held $22,914 seized. Chinese couple robbed of $54,000 in Arangua's home invasion. And Tobago hotels get 1.7 million. 4 Tobago hotels, get 1.7 million from TTAL. And that's it for the main stories in the news day. Over to you in the Guardian, Sir Charles.
All right. So in the Guardian today, California governor says U.S. at risk of abandoning democratic norms. And then what about us, Kings Wharf residents in the dark about the revitalization plan? Dirty water can't tarnish gold, says St. Vincent PM. Defense family HDC purchases. Police commissioner warns citizens to be cautious on social media. We know about that. Beetham residents defend your business that they're putting out there. And Beetham residents defend actions after PBR crash. We were helping, not stealing. And that is the next story. No kidnapping spike, says top cop after farmer's murder. And police promise a safer Christmas in Port of Spain, Wendell. Stories in the Guardian.
Do you think there's a kidnapping spike? What's your perception?
I don't know if it's to call it a spike, but there have been recently a few kidnappings.
Yeah.
The
mere idea that issue comes up in my thinking is that there's a perception there is a spike.
Yeah.
Else the issue will not come up.
Yeah.
So there's a perception that there's a ramping up of kidnappings, and of course data could tell you yes or no. Is it more this year vis-a-vis last year? That's a data point that you could look at.
Yes.
It may not fit the definition of a spike, but are there more? Because anytime people start to ask things like that, it means there's a perception. So anyway, so of course this is the point at which we open up our lines and you can get interactive with us to discuss some of the issues happening today. Well, in the world and in Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, lots happening in the Southern Caribbean with the U.S. continuing build-up, and with the arrival in the Southern Caribbean of the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier, or strike force, I think they call it. So that's in the area. Where is it all going to lead? Who knows? Of course, it has ramped up tensions in the area. Hence, you have some of those messages coming out of Maduro. We also discussed the apparently Anil Roberts blog or podcast that raised the issue of the Prime Minister of St. Vincent. Maybe we should see if we could get on to Rav Gonzalez. I know we have spoken to him before. Maybe we could have a quick conversation with him this morning, Sir Charles. I assume you have his number somewhere.
Who's that, Rav Gonzalez?
Yeah. We have spoken to
because, remember we used to pitch marbles in Barataria together, so of course I'll have that number.
We have, or you don't make it a business of trying to get numbers in your spare time. So
I know I do it, sir. I do it.
Because we have spoken to Dr. Rav Gonzalez previously. So anybody who probably has access to Dr. Rav Gonzalez's number, please send it to the WhatsApp number so that Sir Charles will have it in his considerable directory of numbers. I assume that he's collating.
But his children who are living here in Trinidad, they're probably listening now as we speak.
But that's helpful.
With them.
Yeah, that's helpful.
We could speak with them.
Yeah.
Because listen, we get a guest. Our guest today is somebody who was listening and watching us, a government minister who engaged in the chat, That's how we got him, You understand?
So that means, okay, so
it's possible Dr. Rav Gonzalez and his children listening now?
All right, so and we beam through Gael to Grenada and stuff too. So Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, you can send your number to us, 2811315. You can WhatsApp it to us. And we will.
For somebody who's in Trinidad, because he has a lot of Trinidadian friends, and our reach is wide in the Trinidadian and Tobagonian community. So somebody who has access to a number for him, you can call him first and find out if he's willing to speak with us, and then send the number to Sir Charles. To these numbers that are on your screen, which you can call now, and because we quickly like to have a conversation with him concerning the issue rather than a repetition of a transcript.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Another story that's trending, guys, is the one.
Hold the story 1 minute, Wendell, because we did tell people. So I said, come and of course we're bringing these stories, right? Yeah. Caller, good morning to you.
Hi. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Raymond.
Wendell.
Morning.
You're having a good show.
Thanks much.
I am disappointed with Adam Roberts and his loud mouth. I find that was not necessary, and it could morph into something more than what it is. And I find these things not supposed to happen. I am looking at the situation with the Minister of Homeland Security. What I want to find out, since his elevation to the Ministry of Homeland, he has only entered one debate in the House, would they allow him to continue like that without debating anything? Is his leader afraid that he's out of his depth? What's your take on that?
Thanks very much, caller.
I always reserve. I just think sometimes he playing the fool, but you know, if it is that he is challenging in serious ways, well then he had to work on that himself. Nothing I can do about it.
Caller, good morning to you.
He's an MP and a government minister. That much we know.
Hello, good morning.
And he's also an officer and a gentleman. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Junior fronted. Hey, guys, thanks for playing that video clip for the honor flight. Something that is done all over the country for the great men who serve. And I just want to also say that I've had the honor and the pleasure of meeting Mr. Gonzalez several times in the airport lounges throughout the US, and once in Trinidad when I was home. And look, even though ideologically we may not be on the same boat, we still maintain enough humanity towards each other. And my friends always teach me, oh, look, he's even wearing a red shirt. You're socialist like him. But regardless of what, I've never met this guy as he could walk among the common man and still be among statesmen and kings. Such a genuine person. And that honor flight, I can tell you for a fact, a number of them may not have voted for Barack Obama, but as I always say to you, that if anyone in office even turned up at my front door, I will never lose my humanity. Respect the office you may not like, or I wouldn't say not respect the man or woman who holds it, but they have that title. And that's, I just want to say that. So you all touched the nerve of a old cool-hearted bastard Republican. Well, I'm not a Republican, but some folks may say I'm that. But when you play that on a flight, I just want to say that. All right.
Yeah, okay.
I want to remind people, because I don't know why I remember these things, that under the People's National Movement, way back in the day, there was an MP, I think when PNM had won all these seats, when there was a no vote. There was an MP, I think, for Nariva. I think it's Nariva he represented. Who it was reputed then, it was that he never spoke one day in the parliament. In the 5-year term, he never spoke a day. I can call his name, I know his name, but I want people in the chat who remember to put his name, because he just said it was reported that he never spoke a word.
You understand? All right, hold it right there. Caller, good morning.
I remember these things.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I was listening to to use Paul Richards' words, the imbroglio references these houses. And I called a friend of mine. I wasn't able to catch the program this morning. I called a friend of mine who listens to the program, and Wendell, I was informed that you broke it down as to the logistics of why and how and when and the timeline. And I want to thank you for that. My only question, Wendell, is that I am not certain. I remember when the UNC government got to refurbish the houses. I, however, thought it was a set of some houses that was in Pity Valley lower down. I didn't know it was Victoria Keys.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, it was Victoria
that
Keys.
is where my pardon?
It was Victoria Keys.
Well then I'm more informed about that then. But if people think about that situation carefully, even before your information came out, how many Trinidadian, and what they're saying is it's government houses supposed to be for low-income people, agency houses supposed to be for low-income people. How many low-income people can afford a $1-point-something million house? How many? I mean, don't mind some of them right now. Some of the smaller, normal agency houses now coming up to the $1 million, huh?
Yes.
Because inflation going up, and even agency houses into the million, going into the $1 million now. But the
No,
reality was
but Lincoln, the HDC has had developments that catered for upper middle class and in terms of their price points. It has not always been low. It has not been always been low income.
Fidelis is one.
Yeah. So saying it is always low income is erroneous. That's not true.
It was low and middle income. The middle income was
yes, that is true. That is true. I stand corrected.
Fidelis Heights was one.
Different classes of people. So you're absolutely right. I stand corrected.
No problem.
All right.
Okay.
So thank you very much, gentlemen, for informing and educating. Because I certainly learned something this morning.
Sure.
Okay, thanks very much, Lincoln.
For the folks who said
you can buy apartments in Victoria Keys even today. They're $2 million. If you have a spare $2 million, go ahead.
It kind of go on by. The 2-bedroom one is, I think, they have 1 bedroom for $1 million. They have 2 bedroom for, somebody sent me those things the other day on the open market.
Yeah, they have 2 million, 2.4.
Yeah.
So you can buy it if you want.
Yeah. Just to say, for the folks who said Harry Partap, no, you're wrong. I said it was a PNM MP. Harry Partap was a UNC MP. And Harry Partap spoke a lot. But Sherwin Kerr got the name right. That's the name.
Caller, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. Finally, all this morning, Mr. Sir Charles, first thing first. After the other day when I was talking, I didn't use no obscene words. I called you and let you know that.
Yes.
For that.
I heard, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay, all right. The man who sat down in Parliament for a long time, I didn't say nothing on that piano, was Hario Haddad. His name was Hario Haddad. They used to call him the hardest. He had a kind of thing head. Right. And the next thing.
It was a toupee.
Right. And the next thing, them houses, the Victoria Keys. I can remember the MP talking about how they destroy when UNC was in power. They change on everything, they break down all kind of things and put in all kind of nice things was for the people. So them houses without the rich are the small man. You understand? So when they are all the best, brother, such as
thank you very much, sir.
And Mr.
Richard. Yeah. Okay, thanks very much, sir.
Colted Finch, whoever you are, oh, you know about that. I know about that. And guess what? As soon as the government changed the other day, anyway.
Hello, good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How I'm looking at the revelation about Dr. Gonzalez's family, I'm looking at it as an extension of what the Prime Minister said about CARICOM no longer being reliable. I'm wondering how many cross-Caribbean families of professionals there are throughout the Caribbean, and whether we really want to be invested in what the CSME release out to the Caribbean. Currently, how many Trinidadian jurists, Mr. Raghubar said, are ensconced elsewhere doing judicial work? How many attorneys at law, engineers, civil engineers, architects, teachers, and other professionals are ensconced all over the Caribbean now? And you know, statements like this tends to undermine the credibility and the words of what diplomat and senior government officials say when they say that we want to expand the CARICOM, and it's usually the sticking point for me all the facets of the CSME vis-a-vis the movement of professionals and other like individuals throughout the Caribbean, especially when it comes to us, has not been codified by us, by any administration. And why our neighbors at the island will continue to refer us to as subtleties and look at the very suspiciously when it comes to certain things. That's why I feel like we and take them.
Yeah, you were a little difficult to understand. There was a kind of but I got the gist of what you were saying with regard to professionals, because you can't work once you graduate, for sure, you can work anywhere in the Caribbean. But you have to go through CSME certification, I believe. Just like cultural workers can also work anywhere in the Caribbean, but you still have to go through that CSME certification to get to be able to do it. And it's a little bit more bureaucratic than you think it is, because we would have had to go through that process when we have performed in the Caribbean islands. Sometimes I've done it in St. Vincent, I've done it in Grenada, and I've done it in Barbados, in terms of performance. And it's more seamless when you have an actual in-country producer bringing you across. It's easier, rather than if you're doing it independently, which we did at one point, and it was a headache. There are all rules and regulations. Of course, it's not seamless. So it's a little bit more bureaucratic than you might think. But ultimately, that decision that was made 2+ years ago now, to further integrate the issue of freedom of movement in a real sense, with being able to work and live wherever in the English-speaking Caribbean, was a decision they made, and they said we're going to implement it by a certain date. And I kept bringing it up at the point, this is the date, and I remember Emery Brown questioning me and saying, no, it wasn't that date, and he was wrong. and I said so, that you are wrong. This is the date, and I was right, because I remember those kinds of dates.
Yeah.
And I remember we interviewed him about it, and he said, oh, the date I had was wrong, but I was not wrong in terms of the decision that CARICOM made. And even in that, they couldn't implement it. It was only recently they did it. Everybody's late.
Yeah.
All right, stick up and right there, guys. Mr. Patrick, good morning.
Yes, morning. Morning is Wendell and Mr. Richard Agbas. Good morning.
Morning.
You know, a lot of people in Trinidad really don't understand this national housing thing, ADC. Every house the government build in Trinidad and Tobago, the government subsidize the house. Well, you know that?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that.
No.
So sometimes people know that. 1 million to build. Huh?
Of course, people know that. It's subsidized housing.
I talked to a person the other day, them don't know that.
Yeah,
and then the TMF now allowing you to get the house at 2% interest rate on the house. So when Mr. Munila was in power the last time, them houses, they renovate the house, and the house price went very high. Then Dr. Rowley come back to the power, he said the house supposed to be for the local people, but they couldn't afford it, and they put it on the market. So which poor man could buy a house for 2.7 million? So I don't know what people will be talking. But Mr. Wendell, the CPO said negotiation will start the last week in November. So we ain't getting no back pay for Christmas.
But we know that.
No. And you ain't getting it in the next 6 months either.
Yeah, whoever that's next Christmas maybe. Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning, Joe. Well then, I am a fan of your program. No, I'm calling just to find out. I find it strange that you all didn't address this topic. I saw on the next program about St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister owning these other houses in Trinidad through NHA. And I'm waiting to hear your program views on it.
You're tuning in.
You now join the program. We started off the show.
You're not
started off the show at 20 past 6. 6:20 a.m. discussing that issue.
Yeah. So what we wanted to do, caller, we sign on at 6 a.m.
It's a foreign number.
No, it's a local number. Yeah. But thanks very much anyhow.
Wendell started that discussion at 6:20 a.m. this morning.
Yes.
But you know what? We're also on YouTube, so you have the privilege of going back and watching it.
Yes, he can.
And just as a reference point, in Singapore, which we always love to bring up, 80%, roughly 80% of the housing in Singapore is government funded.
Yeah.
I have always had a problem, and you know, Wendell, I have this problem, that all of our governments need to spend more money in housing, because that's how you rapidly increase home ownership in a country that is on a track to being as developed as possible and as rapidly as possible. Singapore understood it. 80% of housing in Singapore is government funded by their HDB.
Yes.
And they have one of the highest home ownerships in the world. That's where we needed to go.
Yes.
And we needed to rapidly build out and build out and build out. But governments have been inconsistent in terms of prioritizing that. So anytime you watch news and see where people are living, it aggravates me.
Yeah.
That a country of just 1.4 million people that has had so much money,
and
still have citizens in this country living in ridiculous conditions. It is unacceptable and it is shameful.
Yeah, you know what Singapore did too? Almost all that government housing that you're talking about are all high rises. They didn't build individual homes. We did. We use a lot of land space to build individual homes because that's what people like here. But in Singapore, it's all high rises, individual homes.
The point is that we have not prioritized it in a way that really lifts the majority of citizens out of having to scramble, and some of them are in ridiculous conditions.
Yeah.
It is painful. It is painful to see it, and I am surprised that it doesn't aggravate politicians more.
Yep, true. Since the Patrick Manning era, that's done.
So hold it right there, people, as it's 7 o'clock and we are going for the news.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio in Gael, Caribbean. I'm Derek. Good day. Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal has welcomed a new analysis by Rystad Energy, which projects that ExxonMobil's latest offshore campaign in Trinidad and Tobago could generate more than $20 billion in new investment opportunities. The analysis, published earlier this month, said ExxonMobil is targeting one of the Caribbean's least explored ultra-deep water frontiers in the eastern Tobago Basin, with plans to replicate its success in Guyana's Stabroek Block, where over 13 billion barrels of oil were discovered. Dr. Munilal said there's growing excitement in the energy industry following the launch of the Prime Minister's Revitalization Blueprint last week. He described the Rystad report as a sign of renewed international confidence in Trinidad and Tobago's energy sector. The minister added that he and Minister Ernesto Caser recently met with executives of Yara Trinidad and Tringen to discuss the challenges of gas supply and investment in the downstream sector. Munilal said the government remains optimistic about the future of the country's energy industry as it pursues greater investment and sustainable growth. A police officer attached to the Central Division is among 3 people detained in connection with the kidnapping and murder of 63-year-old livestock farmer Vishnu Lala of Windsor Park, Kuva. Lala, the brother of contractor Krishna Lala of SIS fame, was abducted on Saturday evening while tending to his animals. His family later received a ransom demand for $100,000, and a partial payment was made on Sunday. That night, officers of the anti-kidnapping unit discovered Lala's body in a forested area in Breaching Castle. He had been shot in the head with his hands bound behind his back. Police also found his burnt Toyota Hilux in Esperanza. Investigators believe the killers knew his routine, and relatives say the crime has left the community in shock and fear. A 62-year-old retired police constable says he fought for his life after being attacked by a neighbor's pit bull outside his home on Saturday night. O'Neill Suku of Ramsawak Road, Cedar Hill, told reporters he had just returned home around 9:45 p.m. when several stray dogs rushed at him, including a light gray pit bull. He said the animal bit him repeatedly on his arms, legs, and abdomen as he tried to defend himself with a water bottle and kicks. His wife and daughter eventually came to his aid, and he used a cutlass to fend off the dog, which later retreated to a neighbor's yard. Suku was treated at the Point Fortin General Hospital and discharged. Police interviewed both Suku and the alleged dog owner, a 29-year-old man, and were told they have agreed to a private compensation settlement, expected to be formalized by legal letter. 6 people were injured during a violent home invasion in Morvant early Monday morning. Police say around 4:30 a.m., 8 masked intruders stormed a 2-story home where the occupants were asleep. The victims, including 2 business owners and a spa operator, were blindfolded, bound with tie straps, and beaten with blunt objects as the bandits ransacked the house. The attackers escaped with cash, electronics, and 2 vehicles, a black Toyota Corolla and a white Suzuki Grand Vitara, together worth over $240,000. Both were later found abandoned in Laventille. The victims, including the owner of a Chinese restaurant, were treated at the Port of Spain General Hospital for facial and other injuries. Police say counseling has been arranged through the Victim and Witness Support Unit, and investigations are continuing. In regional news, the world's largest and most advanced aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, has arrived in the U.S. Southern Command Area of Responsibility, marking a major step in Washington's growing military buildup across Caribbean waters. The Ford Carrier Strike Group, carrying over 4,000 sailors and dozens of tactical aircraft, reached the region this morning after weeks at sea. U.S. officials say its mission is to counter narco-terrorism and transnational criminal organizations, amid a series of at least 19 lethal boat strikes in recent months that have left 75 people dead. According to the U.S. Navy, the Ford's arrival will strengthen surveillance and interception operations. It's accompanied by 3 guided missile destroyers and will operate alongside the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group under a joint task force. Admiral Alvin Holsey, commander of Southcom, said the deployment underscores U.S. resolve to protect the Western Hemisphere and safeguard the American homeland. In international news, a survivor of what's being described as a massacre in Sudan says he has lost all hope after escaping the last functioning hospital in the city of El Fasher before it was reportedly overrun by paramilitary rapid support forces. Laboratory technician Abdurabu Ahmed told the BBC he lost his colleagues and family members after troops stormed the Saudi maternity hospital, killing an estimated 460 patients and staff during their assault late last month. The World Health Organization has condemned the reported attack, calling it appalling and deeply shocking. Ahmed said he and other medical staff endured months of shelling and starvation before fleeing to Tawila, about 70 kilometers away, where survivors now live in makeshift tents. The RSF has denied the accusations, claiming the hospital had been abandoned. But witnesses say medical workers who stayed behind were later executed. And that is news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
Here what I want you to do. I want everybody line up on yourself. And you see that calabash there? Listen, I want you to dip in that tub of mud and bathe yourself. Hey, hey, dip in that tub of mud and bathe yourself. Come on, dip in that tub of mud, dip in that tub of mud, dip in that tub of mud and bathe yourself. Hey, it's Juve morning and we having fun. I just love the posse, but same time I bounce up one. I think I dip in the business, so I'm money just like them. 2 girls come and hold me and start calling me friend. But it's song that they're singing over and over, ringing out in me. But with the liquor, the woman, the doo-doo, the iron, hey, where the hell I care? They're singing brand over, yeah, they're singing brand, hey. They're singing bragadang, wag. I have to sing where they're singing, yeah, where they're singing, oh, bragadang, coming down. Juve morning, bragadang, dip in a mud and bathe yourself.
That's what you do.
Take a dip in a mud and bathe yourself. Yeah. Take a dip in the mud. Take a dip in the mud. Take a dip in the mud and bathe yourself.
Why? I buy the Twin Towers. No matter high off the ground. Up in the distance, I see the street get brung. It was a big mud section, and I come out to play. By the time that I pass through, your boy looking like clay. Then one of them girl hand me a posy full up with something wrong. I take 1 drink, 2 drink, 3 drink, 4. Next thing I hear the gong and they're singing brand. Oh gosh, they're singing brand, brand, hey. They're singing bragadan, Lord. I have to sing where they're singing. Yeah, where they're singing, oh bragadan, brang, bragadan, we coming down.
Juve morning,
bragadan, brang, bragadan, we coming down.
With Juve junkies,
bragadan, brang, bragadan, we coming down.
It's Juve morning,
bragadan, brang, bragadan, we coming down.
With Juve junkies, take a dip in a mud and bathe yourself.
Right now, right now.
Take a dip in a mud and bathe yourself. Take a dip in the mud. Take a dip in the mud. Take a dip in the mud and bathe yourself.
Yeah. Where the Juve junkies? Where the Juve junkies? What the one spider wine head?
Juve junkies.
Or the game of those about them. Game of those about and they. Yeah. Soak him with the one shot. Give him the whole top. Give him the whole top of wine. I want your bed wine. Give him some bed too, some bed too. Hey.
Juve junkies in dog. Juve junkies in dog.
I like myself. Danny, you slacker. Yeah, man, you got a big up man like Wrench and Danny and all them boy them so.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This
mud in your beard, boy, mud in your beard.
Breakfast show.
Yeah, look mud in my beard.
Take a drink.
Danny and all them boy.
Take a bathe in the mud. Juve Junkies there. That is the music of Anselm Doggy Dog Douglas. A fantastic track. I hope the Mafia give him a chance. Hey, everybody, welcome inside our number 2 here on New Era TT Radio. And of course, Gael Caribbean, we're happy to have you inside of the breakfast show.
Yeah, look more than my beard.
And of course, if you're just joining us for the very first time this morning, trust me, you missed plenty already. Like our last caller. But guess what? We have a whole lot more for you. Yeah, between now and around 8:20, right? So all you have to do is stay with us. Now remember, when we come off of the Gael feed after 8 o'clock, you can get us all day, every day at newerattradio.com, New Era TT Radio on TuneIn. So you get us on your Alexa and all of your Google devices. And remember to go check us out on our platforms, Facebook, YouTube and TikTok. Like and subscribe. It's very important. We're trying to move those numbers up. And also, don't forget to hit the support buttons, right? Christmas is here, and of course, to all those who are listening to us, you have your businesses. Come, let's help you scale your business. Let's put your business in front of thousands every day. You can advertise with us. So you can call any one of our numbers, 281-1315, or you can message me on 299-5156, and we'll have one of our marketing reps get back to you, okay? So continue to vote on the poll. Do you think that there is a spike in kidnappings for ransoms? For ransom? Do you believe it is happening? You vote yes or no first, and then put in all your comments, all right? So the guys will be able to read it for you. So stay with us, and we will be back shortly.
There's no Christmas like Christmas on New Era TT Radio.
Laughing children tug at Mr. Santa. Teddy bears.
Feel the laughter, the lights, the love. That's what Christmas feels like.
Christmas Eve, casually I was walking down the street. One Christmas Eve, casually
We keep the joy alive and the music playing all season long. Merry Christmas from your friends at New Era TT Radio, taking you above and beyond.
Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Champlain, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Champlain Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Champlain. We do it all.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Ho, ho, ho! This Christmas, small businesses, this one's just for you. Get your brand, your product, your business in front of thousands every single day on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, and Gael Caribbean TV. And here's the gift you've been waiting for. Radio and television advertising has never been more affordable anywhere else. We are talking unbelievable real rates. Prices no one else can offer you for primetime slots that put your business right where your customers are watching and listening. So call us today at 299-5156 and turn your Christmas into real results and real profits with affordable advertising so you too can say Merry Christmas.
Your don't leave foul to watch corn is coming to an end. Beginning with the final 2 at Cipriani College on Saturday the 15th of November at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 16th at 6:30 p.m. to see the funniest play of the year at Cipriani College. Final 2 shows. Tickets available at K Squared Fashions, West Mall, Eastgate, Brentwood, Jabini Railway to Napuna, Electronics Ariba, and Tony's Florals, Val Park, and Champlain Auto Services. Box office at Cipriani College opens from Wednesday the 12th of November, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Don't miss the number 1 play of 2025.
All right, we are back.
At least some of us.
At least one of us.
Some of us.
The boss ain't come back. The teacher ain't come back in the classroom as yet.
Oh boy.
Here he comes. Hi, sir.
All right, so we are back after the break, and of course we're going straight into our poll results because we have a guest coming up shortly. We'll be speaking to Minister Kennedy Swaratsingh, Minister of Planning, in the next few minutes. But first we'll go through the collating of our poll results. Of course, the poll is on the screen, and those of you who are listening to us and not seeing us, do you think there is a spike in kidnappings for ransom? That's our poll this morning. Of course, the Commissioner of Police says there is no spike, but of course, that was a question asked of him yesterday by one of the news reporters. So do you think there is a spike in kidnappings for ransom? Yes or no? That's our poll this morning. What's your perception? Yes or no? We'll now start collating those results.
Okay, so Suzanne Jessup says yes. Dave Gosine, yes. Joyce Phillips, yes. Ron DeSantis Jr., yes. Marlon Motley, yes. Ava Smith, yes. Michael Oliver, yes. Miguel Gonzalez, yes. Michael Robinson, yes. CJ from New York, yes. Beauty Culture, yes. Scorpion Pepper, not sure as yet. Ilarizan, yes. Anya, yes. Cheryl Henry, yes. Michael Samuel didn't vote. Slick Money Grip, yes. Stellar Services, yes. Trinidad and Tobago didn't vote. Kazim Mohammed, yes. Colted Finch, yes. Rena Jennings, yes. Ambrose Blah didn't vote here. Joyce, okay. Gemma Peters, yes. Gemma Peters Halls, that is yes. Margaret Thomas, yes. Ingrid from Tucson, yes. Carol Guevara, yes. Andre Reno, yes. Patricia Reed, yes. A lot of chat in here. Where are the other votes? Where are the other votes? Where are the other votes? Josie Richardson, yes. Apollonius, yes. Diane Payne, yes. Michael Cadet, yes. Lalram, yes. Joseph Clement, yes. Lalram votes again. Carla Hercules, no. Marlene Saunders Sobers, yes. Stephanie Santana, yes. Trini Merle Kitchen, yes. Jason Samuel, yes. Anthony Atwell, yes. Valerie Mendoza, yes. James Kamau, yes. And Finbar Collins, yes. Those are the votes I have thus far.
All right. So on the WhatsApp, we had Trinidad and Tobago says no. Pauline says no. Junior says yes. Terry Ann says no. Linda didn't vote. John says no. And Anand says no. That's it.
All right, so our poll this morning, do you think there's a spike in kidnappings for ransom? We had 46 people voting on the poll this morning. And of the 46 people voting in the allotted time, 40 of you said yes, you think there is a spike in kidnappings. And 6 of you said no, you don't think there is a spike. So the yeas have it for this morning, at least in terms of their perception. It may not be reality, but the perception is that from the vast majority of our voters, is that yes, there is a spike in kidnappings for ransom. So that's it for our poll this morning. Our poll is now done. So even if you vote now, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because we ain't counting it.
Yeah. So all the late comers in between there, I don't know why people like to vote late. They wait until
I think sometimes the results show up late. They may have voted, but it depends on the speed of the internet.
Yeah.
They may not be late. I think that's
I interrupt you all on the voting discussion, but we have a guest waiting in the studio to enter, and we should be more professional about it.
Richard have no pay.
I know how to deal with all that. I know how to deal with all that.
If I don't for the morning, I'll cry.
So, Minister Swaratsingh, are you there?
We seen his name.
But we just stepped out.
All right. So we want to see him, I want to be sure the man who put the message in the chat the other day is actually Minister Swaratsingh.
Well, let me remove him until he becomes
until he gets back.
Until he gets back visible. Because I don't know if he's having problems with his.
Right. So while we wait on that,
his lighting, I don't know.
All during the news and thing, all they could vote and stuff. Because when Richard said the poll done, the poll done.
Yes. So Florence Bazzi, D-Mark, Mrs.
Yeah, we can't continue to check votes. If you have to vote in a lot of time, vote in a lot of time.
Yeah, you have to vote. We try to cut off by 7:22. We try to, because that's the time we have for our guests, 7:20. So we try not to go past the timing on the screen that comes up. You understand? We can only go with the timing on the screen that comes up, right, folks? And you all need to start increasing those votes again. Plenty people actually not even chatting these days. With DL and some of them, Donna Ramlow, and them, with them, they're very quiet these days. With all that bacchanal in the government, they're very quiet.
But you gave them a government?
Yeah. It's not our government?
No, you're making it sound in a very partisan way. The government. That's
because you don't monitor the chat like I do.
That's what you said.
Perception.
Because teacher, you don't monitor the chat like I do. Trust me. I know the fanatics on both sides.
So, but we are waiting. Minister Swaratsingh. Of course, he's our guest this morning. So we just waiting for him to get visible in the stream. I think he may be having some internet issues. I'm not sure.
He might be on the road.
No, it didn't look like he is on the road, but maybe he got a call that he had to take.
Right? You were seeing him earlier on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was saying it looked like he was in his office.
Minister Swaratsingh, if you're listening, I won't ask you anything about Anna Roberts. I promise you. If that is why you bring it, I'm not going to ask you anything about that Anna Roberts issue and that housing issue. We're not going to ask you anything about it. If you want to offer an opinion, you can, but I am not going to ask. All right. What else I can promise you? I'm not going to ask you. Nah, I only have good things for you, man. You've always been a very decent guy. I've always known you as a very decent, quiet, unassuming guy. Always known you that way. But I want to ask you what's the reason for the switch.
Well, you're preempting the
I know, but I want him to prepare the answer.
Oh Lord. People, anyhow, the Christmas is upon us, and we are here to cater for your advertising. So all the persons who are listening, that you have your small businesses, medium-sized business, and your large businesses, you can do advertising with us on the Breakfast Show on the net, right? We welcome your advertising.
Yeah.
So we look forward to you giving us a call.
I draw DL out the whole way. He said, good to be missed when they've got family in the country. So I'm running 24/7. Still locked on most days, but not much in the chat. Okay, well, thanks for responding, DL. Happy to hear that everything is all right. I miss people. I miss Annie Bunyan. Annie Bunyan used to message us. I miss her, So Minister Swaratsingh is coming back in. I just
brought him back in just to double check.
Yeah, he's
not yet visible. So he's obviously dealing with something. So you have to give him.
I think he's logging out and coming back in.
Okay.
I don't know if the internet, the time that because he was there for a while. Huh?
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Or maybe the internet.
I hope he endorsed Dr. Rowley, Richard. Remember?
What?
Remember what Dr. Rowley did us that morning?
Right, he's back, Richard.
In studio, you can't remember?
No. So we have Minister Swaratsingh. Good morning, Minister. Thanks for joining us on the Breakfast Show. We are seeing and hearing you.
Hello.
Yeah, we're hearing you.
We're hearing you.
Are you all hearing me?
Yes, we are.
We're hearing you loud and clear.
Not hearing you.
Oh. Yeah, but we are hearing you. We are hearing you very well.
Is it a laptop he's using or a phone? Minister, are you hearing us now?
Not hearing you guys.
Okay, we're not hearing
you. You would have to
disengage your headphones.
But if he's not hearing us, Wendell, you can't talk to him.
Oh, sorry. True.
Yeah.
You'd have to send him a message.
Sir Charles.
Sir Charles.
Yeah. Okay. Take it back off screen. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Let me try it on my.
He's gonna. So Charles, you could call him if there's anything.
Yeah.
All right.
He probably didn't accept Mike.
Well,
not Mike. Mike and speaker. But once your mic is working, your speaker should be working. So anyway, you try to. As you can see, we are very transparent when we're having technical problems and technical issues because we have no choice because we are coming to you live. So we're still trying to figure out what the issues are with Kennedy, with Minister Swaratsingh, in terms of his technical issues. Once those are resolved, we'll start the interview.
All right.
Let me see if he hears us.
Let me try it.
Are you hearing us at all?
I could hear you now, yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
And we're hearing you.
We are hearing you. So
my apologies.
We're good to go. So good morning, Minister. Thanks so much for joining us on the breakfast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I have been following your show since I've been back.
Well, that is so good to hear because, of course, when you messaged on Monday, we weren't sure that because we have a Donald Trump who's messaged us a lot. So we never sure we're never sure that it's actually the person, and you confirm that it was in fact you.
No. I listened because I try to listen, or to a lot of what people have been saying and so on.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
great.
But Minister, I wanted to, of course, I wanted to dive straight into the revitalization blueprint, and I want to, of course, congratulate the government on that presentation. I thought it was impressive. I had actually watched it, the 2-hour presentation, and I thought it was impressive, and it obviously indicates a plan. And I thought it was surprising that it was so detailed in such a short period of time. So I will say that. But I know you would have done a presentation at the Revitalization Blueprint event, whereby you talked about a priority portal in terms of the intersecting of various government and approving agencies for different permits and stuff like that, all being a seamless through a seamless portal to make sure that things are more efficient. Could you speak to us a little bit about that priority portal that you presented?
Yes, certainly. As you know, development initiatives, Wendell has been around a long time. Sometimes people get hung up because you have to move through multiple agencies, both in terms of the central government as well as local government, in order to get permits. Give you an example where the U.S. Embassy is being built in Maraval, where they're building the accommodation for the workers. In Rokurinook, part falls in Diego Martin constituency or corporation. The other part falls in Port of Spain Corporation. And there is a unique feature we have where the person in charge of health in each corporation have a final say or can stop things from progressing. Wendell has a lot of local government experience. He knows that. And in Diego Martin, they got approval, and Port of Spain, they didn't get approval. It took us about 6 weeks to figure out how to get around that, because very often those persons don't report to the CEO or the mayor. And so we had to get the Minister of Health to intervene. And just giving you that as an example as how people can be frustrated. You've had persons waiting for CECs from the EMA for years, and in town and country planning, which was in my ministry. So what we are trying to do is to find a better way to connect these organizations through, as you know, town and country planning, what they've developed, what is called Develop TT, which is a portal where you can do online applications. Well, part of that is also linked to the EMA. And so what we are trying to create is much more of a seamless process, so that persons, when they put the application in, persons in town and country can take that application across various institutions so that they can get to a one-stop area. We did it as well in trade and industry years ago, when we developed the single electronic window that linked 18 agencies together. We have this phenomena in Trinidad and in English-speaking Caribbean, where when you put an application for various things, you have to go through the multiple agencies, and at any point in time, people can get a blockage, and sometimes it takes you a while to figure out where that blockage is. So what EMA has said to us is that in the last probably 5 years or so, we would have probably lost about $34 billion in potential development initiatives because people just get frustrated. Over the last year, probably about $1 billion we would have lost because people just decided that they give up, they wouldn't venture any more information. So we had to find a way, first of all, before we move on an aggressive development agenda, how will we support these initiatives that are coming in? And that's why there's this priority portal. Projects over a certain size will get a sort of an opportunity to interface with persons who will be specifically assigned in order to make sure these things continue. Now, it isn't that everybody may get what they want, because obviously you have to have the right. This is not about taking cutting shortcuts from what is permissible or acceptable and what is legal as well, but it is about giving it the attention so that we can move it along the process without undue delays.
How far is the priority portal from implementation? I assume it's a work in progress.
Well, it's already set up. Prior to the launch, we'd have been working on it for the last couple of months. As you know, we also set up the National Payment Center of Trinidad and Tobago, which would have launched about two months ago. And that is also quite critical, because what you want is that you need to also, we will have to bring in some additional staff, but we already have staff looking at that priority desk. And so right now we actually can take those applications. So we can actually start right away. We will need to make sure and sort of, and what we would have done in terms of town and country planning, we would have met with the staff. You would have seen probably last week, we had a training session. And so persons are getting ready. The desk is staffed and the projects are actually starting to come in. I'm actually meeting with a developer this morning. Yesterday, the Minister of Finance, not yesterday, I think 2 days ago, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of the Attorney General, and myself would have met with somebody from the energy sector as well. So we are beginning to move things along. I am still going to stay on top of it because at the end of the day, these things are quite critical if you're going to move our agenda aggressively along. So we are open for business, so to speak, on that side of the equation.
Minister, I know at one point in time, and why I'm speaking to this is that you referred to me in local government. I used to actually be chairman of planning and development at the city of Port of Spain for quite a while. So I used to have to interact with whoever was Minister of Planning and Development. And I know, if my memory serves me right, the minister under the Planning Act, the minister has final approval, regardless of whether the municipal corporations refuse or whatever. A minister you can appeal to that minister, and the minister can give the approval. Does that still happen? Does that still hold?
It still happens, but it has to go through a lengthy process before it comes to minister intervention, as you know, and you have to get what you will have to do is to go through you'll have to refuse, and only when it's refused, then it goes for the ministerial intervention. Then what they call your appeal to the minister.
Right.
I just wanted to be clear. That priority portal, is it a portal that's exclusively for use by people or companies that are investing over 50 million Trinidad and Tobago dollars, or is it that any investment can go through that portal?
No, it's specifically targeted. It's specifically designed to target high value projects, because again, all applications go through Develop TT, but we will create a special, because we ultimately, once we complete the link with the payment center, we have to amend the legislation, and we're going to actually be charging persons to also give that sort of priority review, because we are committing to a time frame as well in order to get some of these things done. But outside of that, I think it is quite critical for us vis-a-vis investments coming in, foreign exchange coming in, and creating employment opportunity. And that's why the Prime Minister directed us from very early to try to find a much more seamless way so that we don't frustrate people locally as well as internationally who may wish to invest in Trinidad and Tobago.
Another feature was, of course, in local government reform. It was proposed that the different corporations, be like a one-stop shop, so that the town and country planning is not burdened by all what you're now describing. Is that going to happen? Is there any hope that is going to happen?
Well, I actually would like to decentralize town and country, and I think it's part of what we had planned to do in the Develop TT portal, not just across the regional corporations, but in Tobago House of Assembly as well. We have to decentralize town and country. We have to develop capacity. But as you know, we have also a dearth of urban planners and engineers across some of the corporations as well. That's one of the features that we would have spoken to, especially in the whole recruitment drive as well, is to get people to come into the public service. There has been a drain of some of our skills across the public service.
Yeah. In terms of I'm just going to match the priority portal. You said it's for high value. What about the issue of the ease of doing business, which Trinidad and Tobago has always suffered, not been as efficient as some of our competitors? And the sense I got from the presentation of that revitalization blueprint was the issue was not making Trinidad and Tobago competitive in the region, but making Trinidad and Tobago competitive globally. That was the sense I got from it, the overriding kind of mantra, so to speak. So that ease of doing business would have to be a priority. Does that come under your portfolio, and what is being done to address that?
Yeah, no, I think definitely that is precisely why, and you're very correct. That's precisely why the Prime Minister directed us from the very beginning to look at the ease of business, which is how this also evolved from. And that's why there are two things: is ease of business not just for international persons, but for ordinary Trinidadians and Tobagonians. That's hence the reason why we changed the national the TTIFC into the National Payment Center. Part of that is to give people a quicker way to engage with government, to interact with government, to access government goods and services as well. So ease of business is not simply that targeted towards development initiatives, but also targeted to persons generally interacting with government of Trinidad and Tobago. So we have to, and the reality is that for very many years, a lot of these things existed, It is just not connected together. And we just sometimes fail to do the final mile or the last mile, so to speak. And that's why I think we can move things very quickly along. I mean, I've heard people talk about all these development plans and so on. I have to commend my colleague, Minister John. Minister John has been a servant of Trinidad and Tobago for a lot of years. And would have assisted in plans under Patrick Manning, under Basdeo. Minister John has been a servant of Trinidad and Tobago in high levels in both the private and public sector. So what we have been able to do is to be able to bring a collage of opportunities and initiatives and ensure that we are technically able to then usher some of these things through over the next 10 to 15 years into new opportunities for both local, regional, and regional investors. So we have to move into a new space where Trinidad and Tobago is run the risk of being left behind. And I mean, we have just not been as aggressive and as urgent as we should be in being able to move our country forward. And I think it's something that we really have to take very, very seriously.
Well, one of the things, Minister, that we suffer from, of course, is continuity. And Richard and I, we speak about it on the Breakfast Show for years. The fact that projects are starting under a particular government, and then when it changes, it just stops. What are the plans to, in fact, complete some of these major projects that will
fortunately, I sat in a cabinet in my first iteration, where I mean I was government's landlord as Minister of Public Administration in those days, and I remember distinctly opening the waterfront with Patrick Manning and the rest of my cabinet at that time, and so there was always a vision, and it goes and Minister John, I think, was at pains to point out that some of these plans went back as far as 1960s. I mean, we have always had these plans. We have always what we have been able to do is to I mean, and this is why I think this administration is so important. So this time in Trinidad and Tobago, what the Prime Minister instructed us is that, listen, we've been planning for so long. We have spent hundreds of millions of dollars in plans. We have started a number of projects. She has instructed us to take stranded assets, take all these plans, and start to bring them to a point where we can move the country forward and execute on these plans, including projects that are ongoing. And so there is no sense of wastage by this Prime Minister, this administration. We intend to move everything further along and try to complete as many of these things as we can. So I mean, only in Trinidad and Tobago, I think, have we had. I mean, as you know, I would have worked in many of the islands, and just incidentally, when I went to Barbados, I went to Barbados on a CARICOM skill certificate. But we in very many of the islands, they don't have the resources we have. They can't, start and stop and change their minds and so on, because they don't have the resources to do that. And we unfortunately have had a history of that. But not in this administration, not under this Prime Minister. She's very firm and from the very beginning directed all of us as ministers to go into our ministries and to get things going. That is not something that you will see from this administration or from this Prime Minister.
How soon can citizens see some sort of benefit coming to them from these issues? And I'm speaking broad-based here. In terms of, you have the National Payment Center, you have the Unified Payments Interface out of India that is supposed to be incorporated into, I assume, the National Payment Center. And as we become more and more cashless, being able to pay with your phones and stuff like that, which I know Minister Tanku has mentioned in some speeches, like having platforms like Zelle or Cash App and the ease of the transfer of money.
And you have other wallets out there too. So you have mini wallet type of arrangements. That is something that I think will continue to because there are many initiatives both in the private sector as well as those that we can incorporate in the payment center that will, for example, we are moving into the ease of doing the ease of business by KYCs, electronic KYCs that we have started. We're going to be completing it in the next couple of months. We also have to, there are lots of little things that I think, persons have been complaining from coming into the country. Many persons have had to fill out this form, which I think is becoming very embarrassing. So to amend the legislation to allow us to use an application to come in. So there are lots of little things that we have to do. We have had to do as a matter of urgency, the FATIC regulations and so on, because we have the audit coming up in March of next year. So there are lots of outstanding things, lots of NIB. So what you would have seen over the last 6 months is a very aggressive undertaking led by the Prime Minister to address a number of things, employment issues. The focus of this government is on good paying jobs, to create a more stable environment for persons, to fix things in the public service that has been outstanding for a very long time, to tackle some of the hard issues that we need to tackle, such as the National Insurance Board program, National Insurance Scheme. To take, the amount of work that has gone into the last 6 months, I think people underestimate how much we have had to dig to be able to produce not just simply what you would have seen in the revitalization plan. And let me tell you, some of those persons work 7 days a week to bring, to get those plans to the point where it is. Because we have to also go on the road. We have to get international persons not just interested in it, but it has to be at a point where people think that it is possible. You see, you can't just go out and say you want to do things. You have to demonstrate it in such a way where there's a backup from, and as you alluded to, Richard, there's a backup to the ease of business. There's a technical competence available. There's a specific roadmap that the government demonstrates as a certain level of confidence and believableness that you have ministers competent to be able to implement some of these things. There's a complete tapestry of events and that people have to begin to recognize that this is something that is achievable, and therefore, because when you invest in, based on the fact that you think that investment will materialize into something, that there's a confidence that persons who are there can get it done, that there are processes that will facilitate this being done, and so on. Right now, we are in the process of finalizing an MOU. I should get the final version of it today from the Attorney General's office for an investment in a rum distillery factory in Caroni. Now, the factory itself is one investment. What it will also do is bring back some of the lands into sugarcane production, because they want to put back lands into production. Now, those are things that because you've had persons who have had these lands idle for a very long time, it will bring back some life into the agricultural sector. It will create again some entrepreneurial and employment opportunities and so on. So yesterday, in fact, the companies that is doing investment had a call with me yesterday, and they referred to the revitalization, because other people watch these things globally as well, and they said that they're very keen and anxious to do business with this government, and they have been interested in Trinidad and Tobago for a while. In fact, Caroni rum has had a long historical name in international. The last person, I think, an Italian guy, bought the old rum caskets of the Caroni, and if you Google it in England, it sells upwards from £200 upwards to £6,000 for a bottle of Caroni rum, and he only releases some every year, a little bit at a time. So we have had historically, we have had some things that we just allowed to go by the wayside. And so we have to revitalize that brand. We have to revitalize that energy. We have to revitalize. And this is, and if you listen to the Prime Minister, she would speak very, very much about how we are in a hydrocarbon-based economy. Yes, we will continue to we'll continue to benefit from that. But we also have to develop the things that we have not developed as fast and as aggressively as we should have. And we make the point that it's not that we are not diversified, it's that we have not been focused enough to make the diversification contribute significantly to the revenues of Trinidad and Tobago.
I wanted to touch on the issue of course, as part of that revitalization blueprint, you had the Tamina E-Park being converted to, let's call it a prison campus. And so I assume...
Well, it's not the Tamina Park, it is the lands behind the Tamina Park. So it's
behind the Tamina Park.
Yeah, they have lots of acreage that we haven't developed.
And so the Tamina E-Park itself, what are the plans for that?
Well, that again on the E-Tech, the plans for that continue to be finding ways to get persons to come and set up business in the park, because the park was designed to do that.
It was designed under Patrick Manning. It was designed to be a kind of technological hub, and with Microsoft, etc. It never seemed to take off in the kind of way that it was intended. And I felt, if I had to give one criticism of that revitalization blueprint, I felt that the digital economy did not seem apparent to me as part of it. And I wondered what the plans were for the government with regard to the digital economy, and because that's where a lot of the world is going. I know you have a Minister of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence, whatever that means. I don't know what that means, and it hasn't been explained to us. So I don't know, where does the digital economy come into the plans?
Agreed, but I think there are two things. One, in everything we do, there must be an infusion of digitization and AI. And you will see that across everything we do in the administration. But I think what you're alluding to is quite correct. I think other ministries will come out with the plans that they have. Remember, this was an infrastructure side of the plan, and that's why Minister John, she took the lead on that side, because she's Minister of Works and Infrastructure. So we will have other ministries come out with their plans as well. May not be as elaborate as you would have that you would have seen last Thursday, but they will come out with their plans, and we will speak to some of the initiatives that we have on the other side of it.
Minister, we would have also observed that no plans were articulated for Tobago. Is there a particular reason why? Because
the Prime Minister did say that we will go to Tobago specifically to unveil those plans. As you know, and we would have inherited the airport that was built in Tobago. Now, just for the sake of the information for the public, Piarco would do a throughput of about probably 1.5 million passengers a year. Tobago was built to accommodate 3 million passengers or thereabouts a year. Now, just think about the type of commercial activity that you must see in Tobago in order to satisfy the commercial value of what that airport is. Now, if we had to do it all over again, I probably may not have done it that way, because what you would have done is built an airport in Tobago that will have twice the capacity of Piarco, without having any of the commercial strengths that Piarco brings. So what we have to now do is, when we look at Tobago, and in working with the Chief Secretary and the House of Assembly, vis-a-vis the plans that they have, because obviously everything we do in Tobago must have the support and the approval and look at the vision and what the Tobago House of Assembly want to accomplish as we partner with them in this development strategy. So it'd be remiss of us if in Trinidad we launch a plan that is specific to Tobago. We would wish to do that under the auspices and the support and coordination of the House of Assembly. Having said that, what we have to look at is how can we develop initiatives in Tobago that will allow us to maximize the value of that airport. Just by way of reference, as you know, when I went into Barbados, my first job was to see of a company that owned the Crane Hotel in Barbados. Now, if you in the tourism sector, you have a hotel that airport that size, you have to have a minimum of probably 7,000 keys in branded facilities in order to be able to attract the kind of customers you need to pass through that airport. In other words, if you have to bring commercial flights, you can't bring flights without having rooms. You can't bring flights without having type of activities. So you have to look to see now how you can how we can develop a program that will allow the commercial value of that airport to come to fruition. And so it's almost as if you put the cart before the horse in that sense, So there are discussions going on with Andy that is being led by the chief secretary, and he's been very aggressive in reaching out to us as ministers in order to be able to and so once that is finalized, the Prime Minister and the Chief Secretary has agree on that plan, then we would launch it in Tobago, not in Trinidad.
I have a question here from one of our fans, one of our people, and Dean Allen is his name. He is, of course, into designing spaces and so on. He says, the question is, revitalizing means we need to develop education to meet the needs of urban space. How will the education system be redesigned to meet a revitalized space?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question, and I think I have my own views, but from the administration perspective and in discussion that being led by the again, and I want to say for all everybody outside there that over the last 6 months, the Prime Minister has met with every minister and given specific direction and guidance as to how we intend to go about these 5 years in every single sector, including education, as your fan referred to, including in education. There is significant amount of work and development that has to take place. I think I'm not sure that and again, as you know, I try to not be I don't cast aspersions, and I have no axe to grab with anybody. But Trinidad and Tobago has been at a standstill, including the education sector, and there's a big issue of what we call relevance. How do we and that's some of the things that Minister Dowlat is working at. He's brought in a lot more. I mean, when we came in, we had to hire people in the TVAC sector. So just the long and short of it, there's lots of work to do.
Yeah.
We have to get back in specialized skills, and we have to make and this is not just simply in terms of the education, in terms of the secondary school, but even in tertiary school. In tertiary institutions, unfortunately, I have had the privilege of interviewing many graduates of University of West Indies, and sometimes you wonder, what the hell are you talking about?
Oops.
Oh boy.
Did we lose them there?
Apparently so.
I feel his device run out of battery.
Charge.
That looked like what happened to me already.
Yeah, because he's still there, but it's just that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Mr. will get his
No, I think he's trying to reconnect. Hopefully he gets back on before we close up the interview. But some interesting points. But I wanted to I know Com Imber, the former Minister of Finance, would have raised the issue of where's the money coming from for this revitalization blueprint and all of the mega projects. I wanted to just touch on that topic with, even though I know Minister did indicate that they were
attracting investors.
Yeah, attracting investors.
Yes.
And selling the projects internationally.
Yes.
But I just wanted to be clarified as a specific question, because I know it was raised by the former Minister of Finance in terms of the financing of a lot of these mega projects as they eventually start to roll out over the next 5, 10, and what he mentioned 15 years. I know when I looked back at it when there, because that Tobago point, I kind of looked back. I went back to look at the revitalization project to see whether they mentioned Tobago. And Tobago actually was mentioned in the sense, in terms of the various nodes. Tobago was one, but they didn't talk about it.
Right.
Because it was indicated from the
sorry, I think I lost you guys.
Right, we got Minister back.
Yeah, Minister, I just wanted to ask you one question, just for clarification. You're hearing me, right? No, you're hearing us, Minister? Minister, are you hearing us?
No, he's not.
Here.
No, he's not hearing us again.
What you did last time, I don't know what you did last time.
You had to do it again.
Whatever you did last time.
Yeah, do it again.
Can't hear us.
All right.
But I guess we just have to wrap it up at this point, because I know we had the 8 o'clock hour and
so Charles, can you contact him and tell him we're gonna wrap it up? We're definitely gonna have him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're definitely going to have him back.
I still wanted to ask him that question. But Tobago was referenced in terms of the diagrams, because you had different nodes. You had 39 projects in San Fernando. You had a certain amount of projects in Port of Spain, spanning the waterfront, sea lots, and Invaders Bay. I was curious as to what was happening in Chaguaramas, because Chaguaramas wasn't mentioned. And I remember in the People's Partnership, they were very focused on Chaguaramas, and there were a lot of ads of what Chaguaramas could become. The PNM didn't pay much attention, in my opinion, to Chaguaramas. At least it wasn't articulated to any
Minister is back again.
Minister, are you hearing us?
Sorry, I've had Wi-Fi issues in the building for the last 2 days. My apologies.
I have 2 questions for you. One, I was just telling Wendell and Sir Charles that when I looked back at the revitalization blueprint, I did see that Tobago was represented with a node of how, I don't know how many projects would be in Tobago, but it was there. It's just that it wasn't discussed.
Yes.
And two, the second, I have 2 other questions. One, Com Imber, the former Minister of Finance, raised the issue of where is the money coming from to finance these mega projects. And my second question, attached to that, which is completely not connected, Chaguaramas. I didn't see Chaguaramas come up, and I remember under the People's Partnership, which was the last time the current Prime Minister was in power, there was a focus on Chaguaramas at that time, with a lot of ads about Chaguaramas, and I didn't see it mentioned at all in the revitalization project and that Western Peninsula, and I was wondering if there were plans for that.
Yeah, there are plans for Chaguaramas. As you know, we just appointed a board to the CDA. That was about a couple of weeks ago. The board would have had probably about 2 board meetings, so you will hear a little bit more about Chaguaramas later on. But we did also talk about Shakashakari. No, sorry, not Shakashakari, Carrera.
Yeah.
We did talk about Carrera because there is a, there's a plan for both Carrera as well as the
Port of Spain and Golden Grove.
Yeah, the Port of Spain prison, yes, and Golden Grove. So that is, and that focus will also require us to look at. So one of the things that we have to do in Chaguaramas is to. So there's going to be a little bit of a cleanup in Chaguaramas. Chaguaramas has become, as you said, as you alluded to, Richard, has not been paid attention to and there are 2 areas that I think has not given us the type of return on investments that can give us. One is Chaguaramas. Chaguaramas should be giving us more in revenue from a development perspective. And so the direction in which it is going, because when you look at the revitalization strategy as well, you look at the Port Galeota. So a lot of the activities that are taking place in Chaguaramas can take place in Galiota in some ways, where they can do the prepping for in any energy sector, because we have to bring back. I don't know. You may recall. Some of your listeners might not recall, but in 1999, when Wendy Fitzwilliams handed over her crown, it was in Trinidad and Tobago with the Miss Universe pageant at the heliport. At that time, I think Donald Trump came here, and Donald Trump was one of the people who actually looked at Carrera and said he wanted to put a hotel in Carrera. And that was in 1999, if my memory serves me right. I was in the Defense Force at the time.
Yes.
So the potential of Chaguaramas has been huge and has not realized that potential for the last 20, 30 years or so. That's on one side. On the other side, I think, sorry, what was your...
comment, but the former minister of finance.
You see, but that is the issue. The part of the problem is, and I think this is where this government is very, very different. The Prime Minister understands, and we would have, she would have met with us as a team. So, you know, there are two things that she did that I think is very revolutionary. One is that she set up a cluster. National security and the economy all goes hand in hand. So what she did is set up a cluster in national security and give specific focus to different ministers so that we can look at what is happening in internal to Trinidad and Tobago, look at border security, the justice, and as well as with the Attorney General. And in the other side, in the economic side, she created the Minister of Finance, who of course has his very important focus, Minister of Trade and myself in economic affairs, and put us together to recognize the fact that how do we find new ways to bring about economic growth and stability in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, Minister, that's what we have to leave it for today. You know, I know we could go on and on with this, but we really want to thank you for passing through today.
You're not going to...
Thank you for having me.
So, Charles, you're not going to allow me to ask Minister Swaratsingh what happened after 2010.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Because I know you want to ask him.
You came in as one of Patrick Manning's bright young MPs and ministers. I remember you and Neil Personal specifically.
Yeah, my very good friend Neil.
Yeah, you were always a humble person. I think you were the chaplain at the regiment at one point in time.
I was a soldier and a chaplain, yes.
Right. And then after 2010, we didn't hear again from Kennedy Swaratsingh until now. What happened?
The PNM under Dr. Rowley choose not to use me, and I had to find a job elsewhere.
Okay, but you had reached out at the time.
I did. I went to see Dr. Rowley in his office in Digger Martin West, and well, you know, the rest is history.
What?
Well, no, but at the time I felt that there was no place for me in the politics of Trinidad and Tobago.
All right.
Well, I know we have to end it here, Minister, but I just want to mention two things. The issue of immigrants being seen as an asset rather than a burden, in terms especially of the Spanish-speaking immigrants in the country, and leverage them as an asset in terms of Trinidad and Tobago's global profile. And the issue of whether is there any thought to setting up part of Trinidad as a casino enclave vis-a-vis as a mirror to Las Vegas, since South America doesn't seem starved of that kind of activity, and Trinidad can have a cordoned off area that deals with attracting the South American market in terms of casinos and stuff like that.
You're very right. We are looking at that, especially with the economic zone status. We can easily do that as well.
Yeah. But obviously, we're going to have to have you back because there's so much to discuss.
And just to say, on that last point that I was asked before, I know Charles has to go, but a lot of the revitalization is going to be funded by the private sector. That's where we're going to get our engines of growth from.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Well, as I said, we're going to have to have you back at some point, Minister, because there's so much to talk about.
Anytime. Thank you very much, and thank you guys for having me.
And speak to your colleagues now that they know that you are a listener to the show and now are a guest on the show. You can speak to some of your colleagues who we've been trying to reach out to, including Dominic Smith, who is Minister of Public Admin.
I will say that, and I'm sure he'll be glad to. But Richard, I have to tell you before you go, I've been to all your places. I've been back, and I just want to tell you, just be careful with the fowl and the corn, but just be very careful. I don't want you to be the late Richard Rockebaugh.
So you're privy, now, Minister, you're privy to all my life stories because that's what he writing about, I'm making money.
Minister, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Minister.
All the best.
That, of course, was Minister of Urban Development and Planning. The
Minister of Planning and
Urban Development, is not it?
And Economic Affairs and Development.
Economic Affairs. All right.
Yeah, Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development.
He has remained a very humble guy, I have to.
So if these guys will just give us a few minutes, we'll do the news and come back.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio in Gael, Caribbean. I'm Derek. Good day. Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal has welcomed a new analysis by Rystad Energy, which projects that ExxonMobil's latest offshore campaign in Trinidad and Tobago could generate more than $20 billion in new investment opportunities. The analysis, published earlier this month, said ExxonMobil is targeting one of the Caribbean's least explored, ultra-deep-water frontiers in the eastern Tobago Basin, with plans to replicate its success in Guyana's Stabroek Block, where over 13 billion barrels of oil were discovered. Dr. Munilal said there's growing excitement in the energy industry following the launch of the Prime Minister's Revitalization Blueprint last week. He described the Rystad report as a sign of renewed international confidence in Trinidad and Tobago's energy sector. The minister added that he and Minister Ernesto Caser recently met with executives of Yara Trinidad and Tringen to discuss the challenges of gas supply and investment in the downstream sector. Munilal said the government remains optimistic about the future of the country's energy industry as it pursues greater investment and sustainable growth. A police officer attached to the Central Division is among 3 people detained in connection with the kidnapping and murder of 63-year-old livestock farmer Vishnu Lala of Windsor Park, Kuva. Lala, the brother of contractor Krishna Lala of SIS fame, was abducted on Saturday evening while tending to his animals. His family later received a ransom demand for $100,000, and a partial payment was made on Sunday. That night, officers of the anti-kidnapping unit discovered Lala's body in a forested area in Breaching Castle. He had been shot in the head with his hands bound behind his back. Police also found his burnt Toyota Hilux in Esperanza. Investigators believe the killers knew his routine, and relatives say the crime has left the community in shock and fear. A 62-year-old retired police constable says he fought for his life after being attacked by a neighbor's pit bull outside his home on Saturday night. O'Neill Suku of Ramsawak Road, Cedar Hill, told reporters he had just returned home around 9:45 p.m. when several stray dogs rushed at him, including a light gray pit bull. He said the animal bit him repeatedly on his arms, legs, and abdomen as he tried to defend himself with a water bottle and kicks. His wife and daughter eventually came to his aid, and he used a cutlass to fend off the dog, which later retreated to a neighbor's yard. Suku was treated at the Point Fortin General Hospital and discharged. Police interviewed both Suku and the alleged dog owner, a 29-year-old man, and were told they have agreed to a private compensation settlement, expected to be formalized by legal letter. 6 people were injured during a violent home invasion in Morvant early Monday morning. Police say around 4:30 a.m., 8 masked intruders stormed a 2-story home where the occupants were asleep. The victims, including 2 business owners and a spa operator, were blindfolded, bound with tie straps, and beaten with blunt objects as the bandits ransacked the house. The attackers escaped with cash, electronics, and 2 vehicles, a black Toyota Corolla and a white Suzuki Grand Vitara, together worth over $240,000. Both were later found abandoned in Laventil. The victims, including the owner of a Chinese restaurant, were treated at the Port of Spain General Hospital for facial and other injuries. Police say counseling has been arranged through the Victim and Witness Support Unit, and investigations are continuing. In regional news, the world's largest and most advanced aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, has arrived in the U.S. Southern Command Area of Responsibility, marking a major step in Washington's growing military buildup across Caribbean waters. The Ford Carrier Strike Group, carrying over 4,000 sailors and dozens of tactical aircraft, reached the region this morning after weeks at sea. U.S. officials say its mission is to counter narco-terrorism and transnational criminal organizations, amid a series of at least 19 lethal boat strikes in recent months that have left 75 people dead. According to the U.S. Navy, the Ford's arrival will strengthen surveillance and interception operations. It's accompanied by 3 guided missile destroyers and will operate alongside the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group under a joint task force. Admiral Alvin Holsey, commander of SOUTHCOM, said the deployment underscores U.S. resolve to protect the Western Hemisphere and safeguard the American homeland. In international news, a survivor of what's being described as a massacre in Sudan says he has lost all hope after escaping the last functioning hospital in the city of El Fasher before it was reportedly overrun by paramilitary rapid support forces. Laboratory technician Abdurrabul Ahmed told the BBC he lost his colleagues and family members after troops stormed the Saudi maternity hospital, killing an estimated 460 patients and staff during their assault late last month. The World Health Organization has condemned the reported attack, calling it appalling and deeply shocking. Ahmed said he and other medical staff endured months of shelling and starvation before fleeing to Tawila, about 70 kilometers away, where survivors now live in makeshift tents. The RSF has denied the accusations, claiming the hospital had been abandoned. But witnesses say medical workers who stayed behind were later executed. And that is news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
There's no Christmas like Christmas on New Era TT Radio.
Laughing children tug at Mr. Santa. Teddy bears.
Feel the laughter, the lights, the love. That's what Christmas feels like.
Christmas Eve, casually I was walking down the street. One Christmas Eve, casually
We keep the joy alive and the music playing all season long. Merry Christmas from your friends at New Era TT Radio, taking you above and beyond.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Devante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Ho, ho, ho! This Christmas, small businesses, this one's just for you. Get your brand, your product, your business in front of thousands every single day on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, and Gael Caribbean TV. And here's the gift you've been waiting for. Radio and television advertising has never been more affordable anywhere else. We are talking unbelievable real rates. Prices no one else can offer you for primetime slots that put your business right where your customers are watching and listening. So call us today at 299-5156 and turn your Christmas into real results and real profits with affordable advertising so you too can say Merry Christmas.
Your don't leave foul to watch corn is coming to an end. Beginning with the final two at Cipriani College on Saturday the 15th of November at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 16th at 6:30 p.m. to see the funniest play of the year at Cipriani College. Final two shows. Tickets available at K Squared Fashions, West Mall, Eastgate, Brentwood, Javini Railway to Napuna, Electronics Ariba, and Tony's Florals Val Park and Champlain Auto Services. Box office at Cipriani College opens from Wednesday the 12th of November, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Don't miss the #1 play of 2025.
Of course, we're in the closing off minutes of the breakfast show for this morning. So we want to thank our guest, Minister Kennedy, Dr. Kennedy, the Honourable Senator, the Honourable Dr. Kennedy Swaratsingh, Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development, for that interview this morning. Of course, we're going to have him back because there's lots to discuss.
Yeah.
One of the major planks of this government in terms of moving forward, in terms of a lot of those mega projects. I know there's a lot of cynicism from a lot of people because we have been down this road where a lot of talk and does it come to implement? Will it be implemented? Will these things come to pass? You know what? I forgot to ask him, Wendell. What is the status of the rapid rail with respect to them? Because I wasn't sure. Because in some of the projects, and they called it multimodal, you saw like a train zipping past. Zoop. In one of the projects. I don't know if you've watched the video.
No, I didn't look at it. The
video is about 14 minutes long. It's on YouTube. It's about 14 minutes long under the Ministry of Works. You can watch it and you can see it. So I'm like, wait, is that a rapid rail that they're discussing, or is that just something for inner city transport? I don't know. You couldn't tell. So there are a lot of projects on. So we're going to follow up on this story from time to time. But of course, we're going to have the minister back to discuss.
Well, I did say, Richard, that anything Minister Jolene John is involved in, I will support because I think she is a go-getter. I think she
is Wendell frozen, Sir Charles?
No, I'm not. You're not hearing me?
You missed some of what you said because you got frozen.
Okay. I'm saying, I said that I will support once Minister Jolene John is involved because I think she is a go-getter. I think she is a result-oriented person. And Minister Swaratsingh said that earlier on in terms of her span in terms of the different governments that she has worked under, right? I will add to that now Minister Kennedy Swaratsingh, who I think, of course, he had a very short stint in government, 2007 to 2010 when that early election was called. But I thought he also too had a level head. And based on his interview this morning, he continues to sound that way. And I just hope they get it done. They get some of the things done. Not all going to be done. I mean, we can't. I'm not hopeful that everything will be done, but at least try to finish some of what was being done. That's what I would like to see first.
An important point you made also is that some of these plans are not new.
I was now about to raise that.
He said that. I thought the terminal E-Park. I really thought that terminal E-Park wasn't going to be no longer and was not going to be incorporated onto that prison campus. That was my thinking.
So he said
but he said no, that E-Park still exists and it's going to be built behind it because I know there's a lot of land in that area. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
But I know this is where we start wrapping up the show. Of course, I'm just reminding you that theater's on this weekend, and as you heard the minister, I know he did come to Yodoli Fowl to watch corn. As did Minister Padarat. Several people came to that play, actually, ministers in terms of government. Yodoli Fowl to watch corn is on this.
Everybody in Trinidad and Tobago see that play by now.
Nah. Yodoli Fowl to watch corn is on this weekend at Cipriani College, and of course, it's the last two shows in Northern Trinidad. So it'll be on this weekend on Saturday at 8:30 and Sunday at 6:30 as theatre winds up for 2025. Of course, tickets available at all the usual outlets: K Squared Fashions in West Mall, Eastgate, and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas, Jabili Rawi in Tunapuna, Electronics in Arima. For Arimians, they have tickets. Champlain Auto Services, and of course, Antoni's Florals in Val Park Shopping Plaza. Tickets are also available at the Cipriani College box office, which opens today from 12 noon to 6 p.m. The box office at Cipriani College opens today, people, from 12 noon to 6 p.m. So you can also get tickets there. And of course, they have endless parking. And so it's easy to go and purchase tickets at the Cipriani College box office. So looking forward to it this weekend. You don't leave foul to watch corn. Last two shows in North Trinidad this weekend. Do not miss it. Trust me, you will thank me for being de-stressed after you get to that.
You know what that means, right? Don't plan any guests on Monday. We'll just have it.
No, he have to
But you all can plan a guest. It's just that,
we have to get a guest and
unless we get Dr. Ralph Gonzalez. Stephen Harper is on a number.
Richard had to recognize too that after the show on a Saturday, go and drink.
And not the Sunday.
He's doing both nights.
Both days.
No, I don't really drink as much anymore.
But you don't have to.
But first of all, I was never a big drinker. One.
True.
But two, I don't really drink.
And you're good.
Yeah, that's it.
I've seen you. I've experienced.
It's not the drinking thing. It's not the drinking thing. You see, what has happened as you're getting older, the late nights, so they stayed up late.
No, the alcohol is be up to here sometimes. No.
I don't drink. I've never been a big drinker. People could give me gifts of Johnny Walker Blue. I will never drink it.
But you just bring it for me.
Other people in the household will drink it, but I won't drink it. I'm not attracted to that kind of alcohol at all. But anyway, that's where we wrap it up for this morning. Of course, it's midweek. It's Wednesday. And of course, I have to mention again, the box office at Cipriani College opens today from 12 to 6 p.m. The Don't Leave Foul to watch called. You should not miss this. Trust me, people. It is hilarious. Trust me on that. All right, so of course,
maybe somebody could take a dandy to see the play for his birthday. Today's his birthday. Somebody sponsor a dandy a ticket and let him go and see the play.
Okay. Anyway, remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your head, like you're showing that for Mrs. R in a kind of way. Yeah, it looks so because I find you was watching me in a kind of funny way. Anyway, have a fantastic day, whatever you do. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
All right, folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God. One life, live it.
Enjoy your day, people.
All right, so this has been the Breakfast Show, people.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on.